Are you struggling with leads who do not have the budget to pay for your services? Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you how to fix that in this video. So this question came from Melissa inside the Blueprint Training Slack community, only available to Blueprint members. But she asks, what do you do when you're on a discovery call and realize the lead isn't qualified due to pricing? Do you provide them some sort of resource? What are the things that you say when educating them on your pricing in comparison to their budget? So it's a great question, Melissa. This is something that all agencies struggle with quite a bit. Now, my agency doesn't struggle with it. I never have discovery calls, proposals that get any sort of rebuttal or objections about pricing. And that's because we remove that all the way upstream. The first thing that we do is on our website here, this is the only way that you can get in touch with us. We don't have any contact forms. We don't have any emails that you can reach out to us with. The only thing that you can do is book a time on this Calendly form here, which goes directly into our sales team's calendar. It asks them a series of questions. And with these questions, we are qualifying them ahead of time. Law firm website. Just by looking at a law firm's website, I can tell if they're qualified, if they can pay us or not. Because what I'm looking at when I go to their website is how many attorneys do you have on staff? What does your content look like? I put it into SEMrush. I see what your traffic and your link profile looks like. I go to your Instagram profile and see what that looks like. It's very easy to tell if you're spending any money on marketing and if you can and ultimately pay for us. This question says, are you actively investing in marketing for your law firm? Yes, working with an agency, no, managing a house, or just no. Again, that's going to tell me where they are in their process, if they're actively serious about hiring an agency or if they're locked into a 2-year contract and they're just going to kick my tires. If you're working with an agency, how much time is left, 90 days, not working with an agency, etc. How much money are you currently investing into your firm's marketing? 0, less than 5, 5 to 15, more than 15. Again, another qualifying question that even if they're lying, I can tell by looking at their profiles, looking at their ad library on Facebook, on Google, how much they're actually spending. This is going to give me a lot of context for them as well. What are you currently doing? Check all that, apply. And then this one is the most important question. If we can show you the roadmap to more leads for your law firm, are you willing to invest at least $10,000 per month to execute? If they say no, which people sometimes do, we automatically cancel the discovery call. So they're not even getting to the discovery call if they answer that question no. And the same thing too is that when these leads come in, they get pushed into our Slack channel, and I'll just comment on a thread saying, I'll review them myself and I'll say, not qualified, cancel, not qualified, cancel. So I know just by looking at the lead as it comes in, if they're qualified to pay for it. So step one is getting ahead of this during the booking process, right? Don't use contact forms, don't use emails. You have to put, even if somebody emails you and says, hey, Melissa, I'm interested in working with you, say, that's great. Would you mind booking a time on my calendar? There's some questions on there that will help me for our consult to make it go smoother, right? So we're always redirecting people to this form to make sure that they fill this out. So ahead of time, we're not getting on discovery calls if they're not qualified. Now, some people slip through the cracks, and if we get on a discovery call and they're not qualified, we'll cut it within 15 minutes and say, hey, look, Mr. Steve, law firm, I'd love and appreciate that you reached out to us, but I don't really think that we're a good fit for you just based on what you've told me. I'll send you an email with some referral recommendations if you're interested. If not, I appreciate your time and good luck, right? We'll just cut it off. We'll cut them off mid-sentence and say this is not a good fit. So we're constantly looking for reasons and excuses to cut people off because it's not worth our time to work with them if they're not qualified to pay for it. So after that too, right? So at the end of the discovery call, the next step that we do after the discovery call is we'll do our analysis. So we do discovery call, analysis, proposal. We won't do the analysis unless we are 100% sure that they are qualified to pay our retainer fees. How do we do that? We tell them. So at the end of the discovery call, we say, hey, look, Steve Law Firm, you're a good fit. We think that we can definitely get you some results here. We think that if we partner up, we can help you meet your goals. Now, I just want to let you know that our services for something like this are probably going to be around $8,000 per month. Does that work for you? Right? I'll just ask them directly, and we'll give them an estimate because if you've been doing agency work long enough, you pretty much know how much it's going to cost. So we'll tell them on that call. We'll look them in the eyes on Zoom and say, does that work for you? Now, again, people can lie, and they can get gun shy, and they can say yes, even when they're really intimidated by that number. But still, that's the accountability that we want to hold to people, to let them know that this is what it costs. So all throughout the steps in the journey and throughout the sales process, we're telling them how much it's going to cost directly, because the last thing that you want to do is go through the entire sales process and then have them balk when it comes to pricing because it's just too much. These are things that you can easily remove throughout the sales process by doing what we just talked about. So qualifying forms, telling them directly how much it's going to cost, and then also, again, like doing that for an accountability purposes, because a big problem in agency sales processes is ghosting. They'll just ghost on you. And that's because they are not being held accountable for taking your time. So it's a big part of what I teach our team internally, is that like they're all coming to us. They're all taking our time. They're booking time on our calendar. We need to hold them accountable for communication and responses. So if y'all need help with your agency sales process, the Blueprint Training has an entire suite for templates, trainings, tools, delivery, proposal templates. Everything's inside of there. Plus, you can ask me questions directly on Slack, and I'll make you videos just like this in response. So if you're interested, it's $109. Make sure to join the blueprint.training. If not, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, Ryan here. Hope you liked that video. If you want more, check out these two videos right here on this screen.